Morning everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and just a very quick video about fig dormancy and what triggers the plants to come out of dormancy in the spring. Different plants are triggered by different things, but the main denominator on figs seems to be heat, and warmth triggers their growth. Now the reason I say that is, if you watched it, I did a short video at the beginning of the week where I had some fig plants delivered that were completely dormant, and rather than putting them outside because the weather's particularly wet, and when each time I got home from work it was pitch dark, I left them inside in my dining room, right at the inner wall of the room, which was quite dark, but obviously it's in a centrally heated house, and within 4 days these plants that were completely dormant, like that one still is, 2 of them have started into growth. Now that's clearly not been triggered by daylight hours or the amount of light available in the room as though the back of the room. So this has been triggered purely by warmth, which gives an indication. A lot of things that figs do are governed by warmth. The warmer the climate they're in, the more likely you are to get 2 crops or even 3 crops a year, because they stay dormant for a much shorter period of time. And obviously if you've got a greenhouse or conservatory, which are warmer than outside in the garden, you can bring them into growth earlier in the season, which means you get your brabers earlier, and you're also more likely to get main crop figs because they've started into active growth quicker. And of course the more heat you get during summer, the shorter the period of time between the fig actually starting to develop as an embryo in the leaf axils and reaching maturity. And certainly in warmer climates, a fig can get from embryo to ripe fig in about 90 days, but in this climate it's more likely to be between sort of 110 and 120, which is why we don't always get main crop figs unless we have a particularly warm late summer or the figs are in a particularly sheltered microclimate. But this is to give you an indication. This is literally 4 days inside the house, and this one's already breaking bud, as is one of the others. So I'm actually going to pop these in my new garden building now rather than outside. Well, the ones that are showing a bit of growth, I'll pop them in my garden building, because if we get a bad frost it could damage the young growth that's started to appear. Out of the 5, 2 of them are starting to show growth, the other 3 are still dormant, so I'll just pop them outside on my decked areas, they'll be fine. So that was for anyone who's interested. Figs tend to be brought out of dormancy by heat rather than daylight hours. As the temperatures increase they start into growth, and they also go into dormancy earlier in the autumn if we get more cold weather. So thanks for watching everybody, much appreciated as usual. If you'll give me a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. You can share the video of course if you think anyone's interested, and please remember, if you click on the bell you'll get updates on new videos as they come out. So that's one of my figs, and that particular variety is Madeleine de Saint-Jean, which is interesting because that is a particularly early active fig, and that's one of the few figs here that has a very good chance of producing 2 crops. So just an indicator of how actively this one grows as soon as it warms up. I'll catch up with you in the next video. Brett out for now.